Hello, welcome to the virtual tour of Krakow in Poland. This interactive guide will last for 25 minutes and allows you to move the panoramic camera around as and when you wish. Along the journey, there will be several points of interest, which will be talked about along the way. This tour was recorded on a horse and carriage that you can rent for an hour when you're in Krakow. We start this journey from the main market square. It is the largest medieval town square in Europe, measuring 200 square meters. The main landmarks of the square are the town hall tower on the left, the Sukiennica or cloth hall, which is in the middle of the square, the St. Mary Basilica, which is far in the back, and the St. Alderbert's Church, which is a small church which we are passing by. Now we enter Grodzka Street, which led us towards the Wawel Castle, the old king's residence. We are on the royal route which begins in the northern end of the medieval old town. On the right we can notice the restaurant Wierznek, which dates back to 1364. As we are approaching the crossing, you'll notice a Dominican church on the left and St. Francis of Assisi's church on the right. The Old Town district of Krakow is home to 6,000 historic sites and more than 2 million works of art. Its rich variety of historic architecture includes Renaissance, Baroque and Gothic buildings. Krakow palaces, churches and mansions display great variety of colour, architectural details, stained glass, paintings, sculptures and furnishings. Krakow remained relatively undamaged at the end of World War II. In 1978, Krakow's historic centre, which includes the Old Town, Kazimierz and Wawel Castle, were included in the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Krakow is a major centre of education. More than 10 universities offer courses in the city with 170,000 students. Jagiellonian University, the oldest and best-known university in Poland, and ranked by the Times Higher Education Supplement as the best university in the country, was founded in 1364. We are now approaching one of the most picturesque squares in the city, St. Mary Magdalene Square. St. Peter and Paul's Church is situated on the left, as well as the older Gothic St. Andrew's Church with the two towers. Krakow is sometimes called a city of 100 churches. Most of them are Catholic because this is a major religion in Poland. As we go along Grodzka Street, we pass another 2 churches and we will finally reach the Wawel Castle at the end of the royal route. Wawel Castle is on the right. The Wawel Cathedral is Poland's national sanctuary. It was the coronation site of nearly all Polish monarchs. Polish royalty and many distinguished Poles are interred in the Wawel Cathedral. Royal coronations also took place there. As we are approaching the Vistula River, which is not visible from this point of view, it is worth mentioning about the Dragon of Wawel Hill, or simply the Wawel Dragon, which is a famous dragon in Polish folklore. A popular version of the Wawel dragon tale takes place in Krakow during the reign of King Krakos, the city's legendary founder. Each day, the evil dragon would beat a path of destruction across the countryside, killing people, pillaging their homes, and devouring their livestock. In many versions of this story, the dragon especially enjoyed eating young girls, and could only be appeased if the townfolk would leave a young girl in front of his cave once a month. The king certainly wanted to put a stop to this awful situation, but his bravest knights fell to the dragon's fiery breath. In the versions involving the sacrifice of young girls, every girl in the city was eventually sacrificed except one, the king's daughter Wanda. In desperation, the king promised his beautiful daughter's hand in marriage to anybody who could defeat the dragon. Great warriors from near and far fought for the prize and failed. One day, a poor cobbler's apprentice named Dratevka accepted the challenge. He stuffed a lamb with sulphur and set it outside the dragon's cave. The dragon ate it and soon became incredibly thirsty. No amount of water could quell his stomachache, and after swelling up from drinking half of the Vistula River, he exploded. The apprentice married the king's daughter as promised, and they lived happily ever after. When we are near St. Francis Assisi's church, it is worth mentioning the most important person for Poland and its history, John Paul II, who used to be a bishop in Krakow. At only 58 years of age, Cardinal Karol Wojtyla was elected Pope John Paul II in 1978. He died in 2005, just after a few months when Poland joined the European Union in 2004. The collapse of the Iron Curtain would have been impossible without John Paul II. A trumpet call is sounded from the St. Mary's Basilica main tower every hour. The melody played ends unexpectedly in mid-dream. According to legend, the tune was played during a 13th century Tatar invasion by the guard warning citizens against the attack. He was shot by a Tatar warrior while playing, with the melody breaking off at the moment that he died. We have come to the end of the interactive tour. Thank you for your time. We hope you have enjoyed this interactive tour and you are welcome in Krakow in Poland.